people who mysteriously vanished while on dream vacation. Hi there strikers, another interesting topic is our story for today. When you plan your next dream trip, make sure you take warning from the many tales of people who vanished on vacation. Instead of removing themselves from work and stress, people who disappeared on trips removed themselves from the world entirely, vanishing in the midst of what should be paradise. These mysterious disappearances baffle many an investigator, who often comes up short with substantial evidence or compelling motives. For example, when a person disappears from a cruise ship, a number of possibilities arises. Did they fall? Were they pushed? Or did they jump of their own accord? And since many vacation spots lie within or near remote and wild locations, authorities tasked with finding a body are at the mercy of nature's whim. A deep forest or ocean current can hide all sorts of evidence, including any traces of a dream vacation. Rather than avoiding travel altogether, let these unsolved disappearances on vacation serve as a warning. Know to put safety first, stay aware, and use the buddy system, all precautions that may have saved many of the missing tourists below. Natalee Holloway's infamous graduation trip. Then a recent high school graduate and picture-perfect American teenager, Natalee Holloway disappeared in Aruba back in 2005 while on a graduation trip. Full of high spirits like any typical young grad, Holloway spent her days on the beach and nights out at parties. On their last night, Holloway and her friends went out to the local bars, where she was last seen leaving with 3 young men. Over the next 10 years, all 3 of the men were arrested repeatedly, though never formally convicted of any charges. Meanwhile, Holloway's case made national headlines, and stirred conversation about missing white women syndrome, referring to the intense media attention placed upon Caucasian victims that people of color never receive. The local police chief named Dren van der Sloot, the sons of a prominent politician's family, as their primary suspect. Van der Sloot, though likely Holloway's killer based on confessionals and evidence, actually ended up in prison for the murder of 21-year-old Stephanie Flores Ramirez in 2010. Madeleine McCann was taken from a Portuguese resort more than a decade later. The horrific story of a young English girl snatched from her resort hotel room continues to resonate around the world. In May of 2007, 3-year-old Madeleine McCann was vacationing with her parents, Kate and Jerry McCann, along with her younger siblings at a luxurious Portuguese resort. The location was quiet and laid back, a place where parents let their children sleep in the suite while they went for a peaceful dinner. The family hired a babysitter to assist during their stay, but that individual was not present the night of Madeleine's disappearance. Around 10 p.m., Kate McCann slipped back into the suite to check on her children, and immediately noticed her daughter was missing. The investigation began that night and remains open today. Authorities in Portugal and Scotland Yard both searching for answers. While Madeleine's DNA turned up during a sweep of the room, the scene is considered contaminated after additional guests stayed in the suite before authorities properly swept it. Theories as to the child's disappearance range from parental involvement to child trafficking, but no one knows where Madeleine went, or why her siblings were left behind. Thousands of reported sightings have occurred in over 100 countries, adding further confusion and mystery to Maddie's saga. In June 2020, UK's Metropolitan Police Force announced they officially had a prime suspect in the case. Though the suspect remains nameless, he is reportedly a 43-year-old German man who is incarcerated in Germany over an unrelated matter. Detective Chief Inspector Mark Cradwell said, "The Met received information about a German man who was known to have been in and around the resort. We have been working with colleagues in Germany and Portugal, and this man is a suspect in Madeleine's disappearance." Cradwell further revealed details about 2 cars linked to the suspect at the time, saying, "The first vehicle is a distinctive VW T3 Westphalia Campervan. It is an early 1980s model, with two-tone markings, a white upper body and a yellow skirting. It had a Portuguese registration plate. The second vehicle is a 1993 British Jaguar, Model XJR6, with a German number plate and registered in Germany. There is a $25,000 20,000, police reward for information about the case. Catholic nun goes missing on dream vacation to Austrian Alps. Sister Eileen Christie, 72, was a Roman Catholic nun and teacher of theology who left New York in 2016 for a European vacation. Along her way, she kept in contact with a nephew from home via email. The last time her nephew heard from Sister Christie, she informed him that she had checked into a hostel in Hallstatt, Austria, a village near the Alps. After being reported missing, authorities searched the hostel. Most of her belongings, including her passport, her cell phone, and wallet, were left behind. Her phone's camera roll revealed images and videos that suggest she was having a wonderful time. A number of strange circumstances surround the nun's disappearance that fail to add up. One of the only missing items from her room was a swimsuit, suggesting she may have drowned while taking a swim. Yet Sister Christie frequently swam during her travels, which she also frequently took to this area of Austria over many years. Her familiarity and experience with the village makes it seem more likely she was taken, yet no major suspects have arisen. Missing vacationing teen may have been eaten by crocodiles. Teenager Brittany Drexel looked younger than her years. Slight of build with big blue eyes and a friendly smile, the 17-year-old slipped from her Rochester, NY home down to Myrtle Beach, SC for spring break in 2009. Her parents forbade her to go, but she couldn't resist leaving with her friends for points south. Because of her young age and relative naivety, she may well have been an easy target to criminals who crossed her path in Myrtle Beach. During that spring break, Drexel disappeared. For a time she remained a missing person with little to no clues as to what happened to her. But Indiana 20016, an FBI agent taking statements from prison inmate was told a young woman was kidnapped, gang-raped, shot, and left for dead in a swampy area known to be the habitat of alligators. The inmate, Taquan Brown, claimed he witnessed Drexel being pistol-whipped, sexually assaulted, killed, and then likely fed to alligators. Members of the family of Timothy Deshawn Taylor, a man Brown accused of raping and murdering Drexel, firmly deny Taylor's involvement. Taylor himself was questioned and arrested by police, but later released on $10,000 bond. While it led to another search for Drexel in 2017, the investigation came up cold. Men sends a final text to his wife before disappearing from cruise. Poor John Hafford, a well-liked guy of 63, he owned and operated a popular book and gift shop in England. In March of 2011, just before he and his wife were to celebrate 25 years of marriage, he went alone on a cruise to Egypt, eager to fulfill his lifelong dream before arthritis made it impossible, and so off he went. He had an amazing time, all the while texting back home about his adventures, and taking photos and videos of the sights. On the night before the ship docked, Hafford sent his wife a text regarding his flight information. Planning to meet him at the airport, Hafford's was practically on her way the next day when she got the call her husband vanished from the cruise ship. She suspects Hafford fell from the ship, a theory supported by the fact he was last seen drinking cocktails near midnight. If intoxicated and too close to the edge, Hafford might have just encountered a bit of bad luck.